All right. Hey, thank you so much for coming on. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited to be talking to you, and I heard a lot. I've watched all your podcasts. It's absolutely amazing. I'm excited to be on with you.
Yeah, awesome. I'm so glad to hear that, and we'll talk more about it. Just to kind of intro it, so you're part of a beautiful venue, and I almost hate using this analogy because it's like it's so well fitting, but the whole like if you build it, they will come type of situation in real life. It's in a farm, right? Out in North
Yep.
Carolina, fits up to 20,000 people. And I'm not going to do the story justice, but just talking to you, it's like such a cool venue and such a cool idea. And why don't I just pass it to you? Tell us who you are, where you come from, the venue, the venue, and just the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so my name is Tony, and I work at Morse Farm. We call it the Morse Farm Back 40 Live is the big venue in the back. We also have three stages, which I don't think I mentioned that either. I might have sent you the pictures of it. So we started the farm started, like I said, back in 1983 as a farm market. It still is a farm market to this day, a beautiful one of that. It's like the Mall of America of farm markets. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, it's the biggest farm market on the East Coast. Might even be in the entire nation. I don't know. I haven't been to all of them, but it's pretty
Amazing.
huge. We have free live music every single weekend, Saturday and Sunday, out at our what we call our farm bar, which is just a tiny little stage. But I've had some pretty big shows on there, regionally, nationally, even locally, big stars that are local around here. One thing I didn't tell you, Oliver Anthony is that's where he first played ever was at our
Oh, no
farm.
way.
Yes, and
Oh,
there's
that's
actually
incredible. Yeah.
there's a big article in Rolling Stone about it with me and him. It's a big long article. It's about 30 to 40 pages long. Um,
Man, I really like him. He's got a good vibe.
yeah, his new song is I think it's better than the first one that came out. The
Yeah, that's
scornful woman. Whew.
yeah. That's a no kidding. Yeah, really, really epic song. Yeah. And like
The-
TikTok kind of social media success, overnight he went from did he play your venue before he released that song or after?
he did. So how I met him, he's my neighbor's buddy, and he was playing at a bonfire in my neighborhood.
Oh
And the
man.
the first time I met him, though, I he didn't have his guitar. He didn't sing. We were just drinking a couple of beers around a bonfire. And then the second time he came over, my neighbor had said, "Hey, his name's Chris." He said, "Chris bought his guitar. You should come over and check him out." And I was like, "All right, whatever." I actually didn't even want to go out that night, but I opened my front door and I could hear him singing before I even walked over there. And I was like, "Oh man!" And I ran inside, told my wife, I said, "You might want to come out here. I'm gonna be out here a while." And so I lost your audio.
I was
I
on
can't
mute.
hear
That's
you. There we
amazing.
go.
Yeah, yeah. That's all good. Yeah, yeah.
um, so anyway, we were out there, and he played like three songs. That Richmond, North of Richmond song wasn't even
hmm
out yet, or he hadn't even wrote it. And
Oh, you
he
heard it
was
before it was released? That's amazing.
no, he didn't even sing it then.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. So he was singing a song that he hasn't released yet. I don't want to say the name of it because he may not want me to do that. But it's a funny song. It's actually really funny. I really want him to release it because it'll show a different side of himself. It's hilarious. And I said, "Hey, you should come play the farm." And he was like, "Nah, I don't really play in front of people. I don't really want to because I really don't. I don't have that many songs to cover, 2, 3 hours or 90 minutes or whatever." And I said, "Just come play during intermission while I'm flipping the set over from my acoustic act to the main band and just play kind of on the side of the stage while I'm setting everything up." And he was like, "No, nah, I don't really want to." And after a couple of drinks, I talked him into it.
That's
So
amazing.
he came out and played in June, and then I went ahead and booked him again. I said, "When are you coming back in town again?" And he said, "August." I think it was August 13th or 15th. I can't remember the day. And that was 2 days before he played back at the farm. He That's when the song blew up. So I had 2 days to put on a show, to put on like a from a little local show to something huge. We had about anywhere from, I don't know the exact attendance, but it was like, I would say 9 to 12,000 people out there.
No way. 2 days after he released that song,
Yeah. And I
nine to
couldn't
twelve
get,
thousand people came.
yeah, that picture that I sent you of that,
Yeah.
I think of the little stage, that's that day.
Oh my God.
And
That is so fun. Wow.
yeah, and I had zero time to get anything. I mean, the most I got was like porta potties and like one extra little bar, and I had to use my. I'm doing the show on a QSC sound system. It covered it. It worked. um,
Amazing, amazing.
but
Hey, shout out to QSC. They work, you know, they're good.
hey, I was pushing those things to the limits, but I didn't blow them, so that's good. But yeah, it was cool. Jamie Johnson showed up and sang a song with them.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a big thing, and that's when back to the how the farm started. So, like I said, that was kind of the thing that blew this whole thing up. So we started with the farm. We built an outside bar with a kind of a little tiny stage. Have local regional artists playing on there. Matter of fact, the 2 days before his song blew up, me and the owner of the farm, his name is Chet, we were sitting down and we had a 5 year plan about my music thing that I wanted to do, and said, "Hey, we're going to let you do your music thing. We're going to eventually build you a venue, but we're going to do like a 5 year plan. We're going to slowly grow into it." I said, "Sounds great to me, man. I'm glad you're letting me do my thing. I'm glad you believe in this." And then 2 days later, Oliver Anthony happened. So my 5 year plan turned into a 6 month plan, and we opened the venue, Morris Farms Back 40 Live, the following year. That's
Oh man, so Oliver Anthony was like a catalyst to really get this thing moving.
yeah. So yes and no. We already had the idea for it, but after he played, I had so many agents. I had agents calling me.
Yeah.
Every news media in the world was calling me. Joe Rogan called the farm.
No way.
Eh, yeah, and I wouldn't give out his number because I didn't know if he wanted me to. So I'm like, I don't want to give it out if you don't want to talk to all these people. So I just
But
told
wait, Joe Rogan himself or like Joe Rogan's people called?
his people. I believe he called, but I didn't answer the phone. It was so the phone just kept ringing off the hook. I mean, it must have. I was on the phone with people for like a week after that whole thing happened, and so we just
Man, what a fun
decided.
experience.
Yeah, we just decided then, and I told the owners, "Look, man, this is crazy. I've got the biggest agencies in the country chomping down the door or knocking at the door, trying to figure out how I got this guy. They must think I'm some huge promoter, which I'm not. Um, you
Hey,
know, it would,
fake it till you make it, you know?
hey, at least I got it on my resume, right? So,
Hey,
and
Tony, real
that's
quick, what I want to jump back into the story, but one thing that I want to double click on is just the like the commentary of when the internet sensation works versus doesn't. You know, like when I was booking shows, I had like the opposite version of it where someone has a track that blows up online. Maybe not on the level that his track blew up, but you know, like they go from nothing to they got 30 million plays in Spotify and it doesn't draw that audience. So like what do you I'm sure you've had, you know, are you aware that that's like a concept too? Like, why do you think this one actually was able to release and in 2 days draw a crowd that like 12,000 people for an artist? I mean, folks work their whole like careers to be able to draw that whole crowd. Like, why do you think this internet sensation like actually did lead to the, you know, to a festival level of crowd for one man show?
I think it was the right. His song was at the right time at the right place.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Really, and to be
Yeah.
frankly honest, a lot of people tried, like when I was getting interviewed by all these magazines and everything about the day and everything, they were trying to swing things political. I was like, look, it ain't political. I'm not getting political.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not getting in that space. What he believes is what he believes. What I believe is what I believe, and what everybody else believes, what they believe. No harm done. I'm not trying to make it that way.
Love
But
that.
it was just the right time. And I mean, if you don't look at it politically and you listen to the words, I don't think it's far from the truth.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
I mean, like I said, I told you before we started the podcast, is that I was a firefighter paramedic, and I wasn't getting rich. Now I wasn't expecting to, but I was having to work 2, 3 jobs just to make ends meet. So I mean, I get what he's saying.
Yeah, yeah. And we should get in and let's get into your story too. Before okay, so I had that one diversion on like why did that work? And then you were saying that, you know, that this just kind of all the agents talking to you and you basically went to the owner of the farm and I was like, "Hey, like now we got lightning in a bottle. Let's go. Let's stand it up." So why don't we Why don't you complete that thought and then we'll jump back into your story because you got a cool story too. So yeah.
I'm sorry, my thing
Oh,
cut
you
out
just
again.
so you go from, you've got all the agents hitting you up, Joe Rogan calling you, and you're telling the owner the 5-year plan's got to get expedited, and yeah, so yeah, keep rolling on that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to him and I said he didn't really understand. He's not a music guy. He's a farmer business guy. He knows nothing about music whatsoever. I said, look, man, we got these people calling. I was like, this is pretty big. This is kind of what I want to get into. And he understood, but I don't think he really understood till like, I mean, he sat in the office with me and I'm just on the phone hours the day. I couldn't even do my job I was actually hired for. It wasn't just promoting; it was to actually work in the farm market. I couldn't even do it. And he's like, "All right, what's going on?" And we sat and we talked. We had a little meeting out at the little bar area. We might have had a beer or two involved in that too.
Love
Um,
that.
but so I said, "Look, this is where we're at. I'm gonna leave it up to you. I think it's time to crap or get off the pot." And he said, sounds good. Sounds good. We'll do it. Let's do it. And he talked to his wife and then his mom, who actually is the owner of the market, and said, went to his mom and dad and said, I think we really need to do this. And then everybody jumped on board and they asked me, "Do you think you can do it?" I was like, "I've done it before. I think we should do
Yeah,
it again.
yeah,
Let's rock it out.
yeah.
Let's do it." So we
Amazing,
did.
amazing. Hey, when all those people showed up for the show, you said you had you were able to get porta potties. Did y'all have like enough of like bar to? Did you run out of alcohol? Like, yeah, what like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first of all, it was also 200 degrees that day.
Oh man.
Um, so, so I was trying to get all my logistics in place. I called our local EMS and let them know what was going on. I had people calling the market going, "When is this happening?" It's happening this weekend. People from Australia, Canada. Two people from Australia showed up at the farm at like 8 a.m. And I was like, "What are y'all doing here?" And I said, the show doesn't start for a while. I just want you to know that. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we came all the way from Australia." I was like, "What in the world? What are we doing?" Um, so I thought that was super. A bunch of people from Canada. Um, so yeah, so we got the porta potties. I called EMS down here, and they were like, "No, it's too short a notice." I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna need them." They ended up showing up anyway with 3 ambulances and a mass casualty bus, for people with heat related disorders. Yes, we did run out of alcohol, but we cleared out a 7-Eleven and a local bar that sells like a little kind of convenience store bar thing down the street. Cleared them out of beer. Um,
Oh man.
we're used to putting on big events because we do like a fall festival type thing. That's like a harvest fest thing, like for fall. And a lot of people show up for that. So we're used to doing big events. The parking was second to none. Didn't have any issues there because we're used to doing such big events.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have some cool drone footage I could send you of the parking and a cool video that one of my buddies made with drone shots of the whole day. It's just
Yeah.
super
Send it. I'll
cool.
put it in the description of the podcast. Um,
Yeah,
and and excuse me, you and I were talking about it before the podcast, but I can't remember if we stated it or not. You said there's like 20,000 people a day that come just to the farm. Like give me, tell us more about the farm. Yeah. Just so people realize, what's already there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a huge tourist destination. It's in the middle. It's right between the Virginia border and it's in the middle of the Virginia border and then the Outer Banks where people vacation every year. And with foot traffic, and this is just foot traffic, not people sitting and chilling watching a local band or a regional band or a national band on the small stage or even our middle stage that we call it. It's just foot traffic in and out all day is just tons of people, and it's amazing to see. Like you work there and you're used to it, and then you'll have a bigger crowd than you had the day, the week before, and you're just like, "Oh my gosh, where are all these people coming from?" And it's not anything. Our bar on Saturdays, our bar hours are typically 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturdays we're allowed to serve beer before 10 a.m. You would be surprised how many people buy a beer at 8:30 in the morning and ready to rock and roll. And then they always ask, "When's the band start?" I was like, "You're a little early, buddy. They don't start till 11." um,
I love
but
that.
it's just people from all over the place. Like I said, we have we let RVs stay there overnight too, and like I said, we get people from Canada. We had a guy from Saskatchewan stay there a couple months ago. It's just a cool place. It really is. It's a family. It's just a different feel. It's even with the big venue, the Back 40 Live, that's in the very back of the farm. It's a different feel. Like I've worked in venues and been to venues all over the world, and there's nothing like it. And I'm not just
Yeah.
saying that because I helped build it. It's just it's amazing. And the build of the venue, when you see the venue, you're like, oh yeah, they probably had a construction company come in and lay this. It was a bunch of redneck dudes, family, friends, buddies, just we cut down telephone poles to make the fencing and all this stuff. And in the bitter cold of winter, it was freezing. And I'm a city boy. The redneck guys did most of the build, but it was just friends and family. No construction company. We had some construction company bring in like the rocks and stuff to put stuff down, but we spread it ourselves. All they did was dump the dump truck. Um,
Love that.
you know, so it's super. It's just it's an amazing venue. It really is. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not just saying that to for no reason. It is a super cool venue. The artists love it. Every artist that has been there so far has come back to me and said, "Man, they need to open 10,000 more of these across the country." And
Cool.
there's nothing more to my heart than hearing that stuff, because I know I'm doing my
Absolutely.
because I run the backstage, so I know I'm doing good backstage as far as hospitality and making sure the bands are good and we're on time for everything. But at least, and then some of them will walk out to the front of house going, "Man, your boys got this on lock, man. This is just so great."
I love that. I love that. Well, let's in podcast fashion, let's go let's hop around a little bit. So tell your story. So you have like a really cool story of working at Live Nation, going and becoming a firefighter, driving down the road, seeing the vision for this farm. So why don't you hit us with that story?
Yeah, so like I told you before, I was working. I worked at an amphitheater that was owned by Live Nation. By the time I left, it wasn't when I started from 1996. I forget which year I actually left. It was getting a little corporate, and I just needed to change in my life. And even though I love music, it was hard to leave. I've been a lover of music since I came out the womb, um, and became a firefighter. I was still working at the amphitheater while I was still firefighting because we only worked 10 days a month. But eventually, I left, and
What was
my
the
fam-
year that you what was the years that you worked at the amphitheater?
1996, and I forget which year I left. 2000, it was 17, 16, maybe. I
Hmm.
can't remember what I
Okay.
was. It was
Oh,
it
so
was a
you worked
long time.
there till yeah, for a while. Okay.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
what were you doing for the amphitheater?
you name it, I did it. I
Yeah.
typically started out in operations, but I mean, I got put on tours. I would do a few shows, outside of the venue, nothing too crazy, but I've done everything from helping with the VIP ticketing. I've even catered for the band where I had to cook because the caterer got sick and they found out I worked in a firehouse and knew I could cook. So I had to cook one day, which is the worst job on the tour, by the way. Um, very stressful because you got to make the food good or you'll hear about it.
I
Um,
hear that.
yeah, so my family has a house, like I was telling you, has a house in Duck, North Carolina, which is the Outer Banks, and I would drive by with my wife after I got out of the or well, I guess it was the music business, I guess you could call that. Um, and I said, "That's the next big place for music," and she's like, "Yeah, right, whatever." And then we went and visited the farm because it's literally 2 minutes and 30 seconds away from my house, and went and we're sitting there drinking a beer, listening to some live music. I met the owner. He said, "You should work here." I was like, "Man, I'm a firefighter, paramedic." I was like, I don't know about that. And, that job was starting to stress me out because it was during COVID time. So that was not fun. And I said, "You know what? Maybe it's time for a change." And I actually got hired as the bar manager there. And I got sick of hearing the same 8 bands that he was booking all the time. So I said, "Can I take over the music?" And he was like, "Yes, please." Um, so I took that music program just from the local scene and went around and found the best local bands that either, that just rock it all the time or people maybe not even heard of and blew that part of the farm up. And then, of course, after I did that, more people started coming in. The bar sales started going up. He was seeing some trends like, okay, you got something going here. And then, keep going. And we ran into that Oliver Anthony thing, and boom, there you are. And that's just that in a nutshell. Story's way longer,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't want to bore everybody to death with it. So,
Oh, hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Whoa. Oh boy.
bless you.
Hadn't had that big of a sneeze during a podcast, I think, ever. Super. Hold on, it's still coming. One
It's all
sec.
good, man. You're all good, brother.
Woo.
Bless you.
Okay. So you would like basically started by taking over their local show and then just kind of built up from there, huh?
Yes, and then I just knew it was. I just knew it was something when that started kicking off. I knew it was something. I also took over their social media as well, and started posting because they would do a post, but it was just like here's a picture of some corn that we're selling. Wasn't really anything animated, and they were just doing generic posts, which is fine. It was working for them. We had about when I took over the social media, we had about maybe 10,000 to 12,000 followers and likes on there. And now then I started taking it over before putting a little bit of music on there, mixing the farm market stuff into it. And it started picking up. And then we were at
Yeah.
about 20 or so thousand, 25,000, like just like that. And then, of course, after the Oliver Anthony thing, we blew up and we're at like 68,000, I think. I can't remember what it is, but it's around 60 plus thousand just on a local farm market page, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. So the programming is like, like kind of local music to support the farmers market and then, bigger ticketed shows. Is that basically it in a nutshell?
Sort of. So the only thing that's ticketed is so, like I said, we have three stages. The one is the bar stage up
Yep.
front, like right when you come into the farm. We have what we call our middle ground stage, which we built if you're familiar with the SL 100
Yeah, of course.
stage. Well, we built our own. This is that redneck thing again, redneck builders. Built one out of an old farm trailer that is actually a little bit bigger than the SL 100 that you can pick it up and move it wherever you want throughout the entire farm. It folds all up and you just put it where you want it, folds down. It's got power to it. I forget the amperage on it, but it's got enough to power that and lights and everything else and fly speakers and all that stuff. So that's our middle ground stage where we do a little bit bigger acts. We've had Lewis Bryce was just there the other day. That's Lee Bryce's
Oh,
brother for a
yeah.
big fundraiser we did. We've had the Jimmy Buffett tribute band out there called the Land Sharks. That kills it out there.
Nice.
We have a local-ish. They're local here, but they do like regional stuff called the DeLoreans, which is a big '80s tribute band. People love them. They have a huge following. Get like every time we have them, we get anywhere from I don't know 3,000 to 6,000 people out there.
Wow.
So that's that second picture I showed you that has the middle stage. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
But and then we have the big venue in the back. That's the only thing we ticket is the big venue in the back
Okay, got
because
it.
the way it's laid out, it's impossible to ticket the little stage and then the middle stage, which is confusing as crap for myself. But
And did you ticket? So you'll have like 3,000 to 5,000 people for free events, huh?
yeah,
So it's like
sometimes I mean it depends on
basically
who it
the
is.
bar ring
Yeah,
is like obviously the model there. Yeah.
yeah. So typically, like this past weekend, we did really well. Now I forgot who was playing this weekend.
Keep going.
But
Keep going. I'm just gonna grab a tissue, but I can hear you. Keep going.
yeah, you're all good. We typically do anything it can be a day where it can be a day and you're out there at 11 o'clock, music starts at 11. There'll be, I don't know, 50 people out there. And then you look up all of a sudden and bam, there's anywhere, I would guess anywhere from 300, sometimes 1,000 people out there, just like that. And it happens, boom. It's not like they trickle in. It's like boom. You can see the you can
Cool.
see the parking lot stop filling up, and it's crazy. Of course, everything's outside, so I get a little leery with the weather on the spend I do. But we try to keep it going, rain or shine. Like yesterday, it rained. It wasn't even supposed to rain. I had a great band out there, and people stayed and danced in the rain all day long. It was great. They kept the whole
Amazing.
crowd there, and that's how you know you're a good band. If it's a free show and they're dancing in the rain, you know you got it going on.
Absolutely. By the way, did you ticket the Oliver Anthony show?
No, that was free.
Okay, cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You had
That's
like a
probably why
little
that many people
mini
showed up.
yeah, you had like a little mini what's it called? Oh my God, Woodstock moment there with the farm. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to grow it into. I can't wait to see that thing filled to capacity and people just having a good time. And it's when people I don't care what I book. I like, by the way, another thing I didn't tell you, I love music. I don't care what it is. It could be jazz, it could be
Yeah.
hip hop, it could be classical. I don't care. I love it all. And if I have one person out there, everybody else could hate it. But if one person is out there dancing, I've done my job. Somebody's
I
happy.
love
Um,
it. I
you
love it.
know, even though, other people might be mad, but that one person is going to leave you that good review, and that's all you need. And
Yeah.
it's it's amazing. I love music. Like I said, I mean, I just it moves me. It's every day. I'm listening, finding new bands. Um, it's just such a music is it's in my head.
Yeah.
I can't add two plus two, but I can tell you who won the Grammys in classical music from 1968.
Who won the
you know,
Grammys in classical
I, don't-
music?
I don't I don't know. I'm just being facetious.
I love it.
but
I love it. What's the vision for how many ticketed events you want to work up to at the big venue?
um, we're trying right now. We're trying. The owner's kind of dead set doing about 5 to 8, give or take. But me, I'd do a show every day if he would let me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to give him a slow heart attack. So I'll stick with I'll stick with what he says at the moment. Um, but I think once he sees everything start moving, and people really, they really don't know about us. The marketing has been kind of hard for what we're trying to do between the
Yeah.
free shows and then the ticketed shows.
Right.
And you drive by the farm, you don't see the venue from the road. So that's another thing. Even though we're close to the road, you can't see it because it's kind of way in the back. They know we do music. We just started ramping up marketing for the farm itself. On down in Virginia Beach, all the way up to Richmond, and down in Wilmington, Raleigh area, and we've noticed that. I mean, it has started to get busier just with our regular stuff throughout
Cool.
the week, and it's working. I don't know exactly what's working because we have so much. We have socials and we have radio and we have TV, and I don't know what's working, but something's working. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's good. It's good to see marketing working because I've been burned in that before where I spent, 6 grand and then didn't do anything. Um, we're working with I was typically doing everything from ticketing to marketing to booking to talent buying. I mean, everything. You know, and like I wanted to tell you, and I do want to highlight you on this. Prism is a
Yeah. Yeah.
godsend. Prism is a godsend. It had me and the owner were doing. I don't even have my notebook. I thought I brought it up. A note, like 2 notebooks, and it take us 4 to 6 pages just to get the offer, ready, set, so I can show it to him. And of course, my math, like I said, I can't add two plus two, but I can tell you anything about music you want to know. So he'd have to look over it, and he'd be like, "Well, you got to change this, and let's change that," and then now we'd start it all over again. And now I can get a deal done in 2 seconds. I just show it to him. He's like, "Looks good to me. Make sure you plugged everything in right," and he'll look it over, just a quick look over, and we got it done. Like I've booked. The last 2 shows that I booked, or 2 bands that I booked for a festival, I got them done within 25 minutes, contract in hand,
I love
just
that.
like that.
Amazing.
And it's crazy. And even we work with a talent buyer as well on some of the shows, and he was like, "I don't think I've ever gotten a show done that fast."
I love
And
that.
I was
Amazing.
like, I was kind of surprised myself, but
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, so I can add that to the resume. Can get shows booked in 20 minutes.
Love that. I want to empower that as much as possible. How did you hear about Prism anyway? Yeah.
How did I hear about Prism? I forget actually. Maybe I was farting around on something, and I saw it. come up. Was it Polestar? I don't remember where it was. Um, I really don't. I don't remember. It might
Oh,
have
fair
popped
enough.
up on.
Yeah.
It might have popped up on my Facebook thing if it even runs through there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I, you know what? It might have been Polestar. It might have been. Somebody might have mentioned it to me somewhere. I don't know, but I looked it up and I said, I need that
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. What were you doing
And
before? Just like spreadsheets and kind of whatever. Yeah.
writing
Notebooks.
it down with a pen or a pencil, and we were using pens. Then we decided to use pencils because we were erasing everything.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just a time saver, and you're a genius for
Cool.
even thinking of it.
Oh,
I
thank
don't
you.
even between that and we use Hive and we use Roster. I mean, between those three powerhouses, I mean,
Cool.
it's been a godsend. I mean, I can send out with Hive, I can send out a an email blast and a text message blast in 2 seconds while I'm doing a deal on Prism. At the same time, it's incredible, and it just it's. I don't know if anybody's told you that. I don't mean to suck up to you here, but
No,
I'm
no, no.
just saying
I
it's
appreciate it. Yeah. No, all good.
yeah.
Yeah. Are you, I can't remember. Are you using Insights yet?
Yep, I got insights. Matter of fact, one of our shows just went on there because I had it integrated with eTix. We use eTix
Oh, nice.
for ticketing, which has been a little challenging. That's not the easiest ticket system to use, but they're super helpful doing stuff for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was using Eventbrite before, and I was like, yeah, let's switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
So you jump from Eventbrite to Etix.
Yes, and the cool thing is, I tell you, one of the cool things they give us is I have a little mobile box office that I put up in the front of the farm, and they actually gave me a ticket printer that prints out physical tickets.
Oh,
People
nice.
love that. They're like, I
Yeah.
get a real ticket. I'm like, isn't that awesome? I was like, that's why I got it. I didn't have to get it, but I got it because I know I would like that because I used to collect the ticket stubs and put them in a
Totally.
scrapbook. Oh, they love it. They're like, this is the coolest thing. We're coming back to the venue just because of this. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
good, good.
awesome.
I was
Man,
like, good.
so as we like move into more and more of a digital landscape, I feel like, there's these little relics from the past that still like deeply matter, and like live music is always like the antidote to the digital world. Like you can't, like during the pandemic, there was all this like live streaming and whatnot, and I always felt like that was just a fad of the pandemic, and after the pandemic, people would want to go back to concerts in the real physical world. And I think, if technology keeps doing its thing over the next 10 years, and yeah, like live music and, getting people together is going to be like one of the biggest industries in the whole on the whole planet, if all the robots are running around doing everything else.
Absolutely, and there's nothing like a live show. I mean, I sit. Well, I put on the show, so I'm usually right in the pit. The bass is pounding on my chest, and I'm like, "Yes, this is what it's supposed to be." You got to feel it. And my owner thinks I'm crazy. The owner of the venue thinks I'm nuts because I just stand there and get my ears blasted out by all this stuff. And he goes, I don't know how you can hear anything. I was like, I've been doing it for 20 something years. I was like, I ain't deaf yet. I will be shortly, but I'm good now. But yeah, even when I get home from shows, I'll pop on. I subscribe to Nugs, and
Nice.
and I just pop on a show. And my wife's like, "Haven't you had enough of music?" I'm like, "Nope, not at all." I was like, "I need more in my life every day, all day long."
Nugs is your platform of choice to hear the recordings?
No, they had a free trial thing, so I've been wanting to check it out, and it's on my streaming. I have a Roku, so they just put an app on there, so it's
Oh,
easier just
okay.
to kind of pop something on. Do you have a better choice that I may
I,
not know about?
I'm like, maybe I need to check out now because I've heard about it forever. I don't. I was just
Okay.
totally curious. Yeah.
Yeah, we got well, why I got it actually was because I just booked OAR for a big show we're doing for it's called the NC Rock Autism Music Festival.
Nice.
Um, so how that came about, I don't know if you want me to jump into this or
Yeah, go
not,
ahead. Yeah, yeah,
but this is a super cool thing. So the NC Rock Autism Music Festival, which the first thing is to change the name because it's this long, and
yeah.
everybody thinks it's for which they're more than, and I'll tell you this part too in a second, but thought it was for autistic children to come out. They're like, why are you putting on a show that's loud with strobe lights and stuff for
Totally.
autistic? I was like, it is for, you're more than welcome to bring, anybody can come. It's not, we're not saying you can't come, but it's to raise money for a local charity here called Grassroots 252 that assists locally in the community with children with Down syndrome and autism, and pays for their therapies and medical expenses and all that stuff. That's what it's for. But we're working on partnering with Culture City as well. Are you familiar with Culture City?
No.
Oh, so they're a neurodiverse sensory organization that, and this is something that's dear to me, is that I don't want to keep anybody from music, whether you have a disability. I had a lot of people call me for, we just had Brett Michaels at the farm a couple, it was like 2 weeks ago. And everybody was calling me going, hey, I want to come to the show, but my husband or my whoever has can't have strobe lights. They have a seizure. Do you have anything that can help them? And I didn't. And I felt bad because I was like, I don't want to keep somebody from listening to
Yeah.
live music like that. I would be heartbroken if I had that issue. Like I couldn't see live music. So Culture City is a super cool thing. So they give out what they call sensory bags. So people with it could be anybody from Parkinson's to dementia to PTSD that can't be around loud noises all the time, or it scares them if like they got the explosives on the stage or whatever, or the pyro. So they give out sensory bags, and one of the things they have in the sensory bags that is super super cool is strobe light glasses that keeps they
Oh,
can't see the strobe
nice.
lights if they put
Yeah.
it in there. And I said, right when she said, she didn't have to finish it. She just said that. I was like, I'm in. Let's do it. um,
Awesome.
but,
Amazing.
but they got it comes with a bag filled with like the noise canceling headphones if it's too loud or anything like that. Um, like a lap pad if you feel the like she was explaining what the lap pad was for is like if they need to feel like they're being hugged or something like that because
Yeah.
people, yeah. And then you have to have a quiet room on the property too. It doesn't necessarily have to be quiet, but just away from the stage where they can go and then come back out. And then you have to have a sign that says headphone zone if you need them, like up at the front of the stage and things like. It's a super cool organization. It's a nonprofit. You do have to pay to use the
Yeah.
service, but it's yearly and it's super cheap. I thought she was going to tell me it was like $1 million to use it. It's not. And they use it not just in live music; they use it at zoos and museums and stuff like that. I can give you the contact. You may want to talk to her. It's a super cool thing.
Yeah.
I met them at, I want to say it was Bonnaroo. I forget where I met the lady. It was either Bonnaroo,
Cool.
Lollapalooza, something like that. Some festival I was at, and I talked to the people there, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. And that's exactly what I told her. I was like, so you're making people that can't go to live events be able to come to live events. And she said, yes. I was like, I love it. I was like, why couldn't I have thought of it? I wanted to think of that. But me being able to be a part of their organization and bring that into our venue is going to be second to none. You get to put, your Culture City venue, and they have these apps like people that are nonverbal, autism.
Cool. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so they have these apps where you can communicate. Oh, yeah, the bag comes with a card that says, if your security team is over there and they're trying to deal with this individual, they have a card that they can show them, like, it says like, how are you feeling? Are you scared? Are you happy? Are you excited? Are you glad to be here? And they just point to the little thing on the card so they can communicate.
Cool.
It's super cool.
I
It's
love
awesome.
that.
Live Nation just picked them up for all of their venues
Oh,
as well.
nice.
And
That's
so
that's great.
it was cool to be like, I'm not a Live Nation venue, but they want to work with me. That's awesome.
It's funny. I had my last podcast guys. They were like quite critical of Live Nation and but at the same time critical in a way where they were like, you know what? But like I also have a lot of people that I like over at Live Nation and anyway,
Hmm.
this is a nice way to kind of round it off, like that they're whatever big corporation, but doing something nice for their audience and bringing more inclusion to the venues. Yeah.
Yeah, and we actually, funny thing you say, Live Nation, and like I said, I worked for them for years. I know what they're talking about, but
Yeah.
we had AEG. We were going to work with AEG. They wanted to be a part of our venue before we even had our first show. And some of the people I talked to at Live Nation, one of the ladies that does the booking for the some of the venues in this region, she was like, you might want to give them a call. They probably work with you. I was like, I don't know about that. And then, and AEG they were on board with it, and then all of a sudden stopped talking to us. And I was like, well, you know what? If they ain't going to do it, I can do it myself. And I just reached
Yeah.
out to everybody, and anybody and everybody I could find. I was calling agents left and right. And eventually I got a bite with UTA, Kurt Motley over there at UTA. I don't know if you know Kurt over there, but
I know.
super cool guy. Oh my gosh, so cool. Gave me a chance, and we booked a couple shows, and the rest kind of just we're still working on building
Yeah,
up our
one thing,
reputation. Yeah, go
right?
ahead.
One thing we were talking about, I was just gonna kind of segue into that. One thing we were talking about before the podcast is just the chicken and the egg. You know, the built if you will, it will come kind of prophecy being partially true, and you know, the whole kind of chicken and egg with agents and artists around. You know, if you're an established venue, you can get a good show. If you're not an established venue, you can't get a good show. So how do you like get something off of the ground? And like, you know, what's your path to becoming established, and what has it been like for you? And you know, I think I assume the Oliver Anthony show kind of, you know, accelerated that. So how much has it accelerated that? Or are you still running into some of that problem? Like, yeah, why don't we just dive into that combo?
Oh, I'm still running into the problem. It was at first, like I said, I was calling agents and I was sending out emails, showing them pictures of the venue, introducing myself, I'm the promoter, blah, 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 this is our venue. And then of course they come back with who's played there. And I can honestly say Oliver Anthony played there, not on that stage that I'm talking about. I didn't
Yeah,
disclose
yeah,
that information, but I
totally.
said Oliver Anthony. And then they go, oh, you're the guy that booked Oliver Anthony. So then they were talking. And then I was like, they're like, who do you want? And I'm a promoter that is, excuse my language here, is balls to the wall. Like I'm gonna shoot for the I'm shooting for the stars. Like I'm like, give me your biggest seller. I want, Dave Matthews or Chris Stapleton or Luke Combs or whoever, somebody
Yeah,
huge. Give
Taylor
me
Swift.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it I'm not saying they're gonna do it, and they probably thought I was an idiot, but it you can eventually 10,000 no's is going to equal to one yes,
Yeah, yeah.
and I got that one yes when I spoke to Jamie Johnson's RA when he was here at the farm, when she was here at the farm. Her name was Chris. She's a super nice lady. She said, call me on that Monday. I'll hook you up. I got some guys over at UTA that I think will really like this venue. Jamie really loved the venue, but he didn't even see the big venue. He just saw the small one. He goes, he really loves this place. So I talked to her, and then she gave me some contacts, and UTA was the first one to help us out and get us a
All right.
show.
Yeah.
And then I did book my first show last year. And what year are we in? It's 2024.
It's
Sorry,
25. Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2024.
Yeah. Hard.
When
Yeah.
we
It's hard to keep track of time.
yes, when we started, I'd actually reached out. I believe it was Reliant that had Everclear,
Yeah.
and I thought, we're a new venue. It's not going to be a bam heavy hitter, but this 2000s 90ish kind of stuff is coming back into play, and I didn't really necessarily want to genre our venue as only country because we are on a farm, so I think a lot of people think that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And then I got the deal done, and then something happened to where we couldn't do it, so we kind of had to break the deal. So I was like, great, now I just lost an agent that I can talk to because now he's all pissed off. But he actually really wasn't that mad. I still talk to him all the time now, and he's super nice guy. And then I thought, I was driving around. I was like, well, if we're not going to do that, what are we going to do? And we're driving around the farm. We have a bunch of old tractors on the farm, and I'm actually driving one. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm on an International Harvester tractor. And I was
Yeah.
like, I got it. Let's do our first show with Craig Morgan that sings International Harvester about the tractor. So I went to the owner. I said, what about this one? And he goes, well, that's right up our alley. I said, I don't really want to get labeled as a country venue, but
Right. Right.
I
Hey,
said,
if
but
the
it's
shoe
just
fits. Yeah.
absolutely. So we did, I forget who was there. We did, Craig Morgan was the headliner. We did Channing Wilson. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he writes for like Riley Green, Luke Combs, and everybody. But he's got a
Nice.
solo. He's a solo act. Oh my gosh, he's amazing.
Cool.
Absolutely amazing. That people loved it. It was. I couldn't have created a better first show if I had to. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Good. Again, not a heavy hitter like I was planning on. It did sell. I did find out a couple at the end of the year that we were that's the most tickets that he sold at our venue at our
Nice.
in a long time. So that was cool.
To-
So we had our proof of concept there.
nice, nice. Tony, how's concession sales for you? There's like an industry-wide conversation about beer sales being down. Are you is that true for y'all? Are you how it's
Mm-mm.
not interesting. Yeah.
No.
How's concession?
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so one thing with I think I told you before the podcast. Like I said, I forget the young lady's name that you were talking about, but she was talking about this and saying she was having a hard time with her beer sales because I think she said she was a bar, and then later on at night she's a club or a venue owner,
Right,
and she
right.
was having that time. So we're the same way actually. So our free stuff outside at the farm bar is what we call it. We have one price, and then when we go to the back 40 live venue, it's another price. But what we do, and I said, we can't sell that same beer for that same price. So how do we do that? I said, I got it. We just up the beer size so you get a 25 ounce and charge the same price, but you charge double because you're getting two beers in one.
Yeah, yeah.
And so our beer sales typically at the front bar are around $5-6, seven if you get like an IPA crafty thing. But in the back, we just raised it. It's 14-15 bucks. No one has said a word because they
Yeah.
noticed the
Yeah.
beers are bigger. The beers are bigger.
Yeah.
And I thought
Interesting.
we were I thought we were going to get so much flack for that.
Yeah.
Nothing. Our bar sales typically for a show, we haven't had anything, sell out yet, but we've done, I think Craig Morgan was 42,000,
Yeah.
something like that.
Cool.
And
Wow.
our concessions for food are food trucks. So we just get I think it's 20% off of what they sell.
Right.
So that one's kind of all over the board, but for the most
So
part,
people are still drinking by you, huh?
oh, these rednecks around here, buddy, oof, they are. Oh, another thing we started doing. So we found out last
Man, it's the
concert we had.
kids. It's the kid. It's these kids in the cities. Like, come on, you gotta they gotta start drinking like rednecks again, you know?
Oh, buddy, it ain't nothing for. So this is funny. Speaking of that, so do you want to know beer sales? So we went out during. We had like I said, we had Brett Michaels there a couple weeks ago with Quiet Riot, and another band called the Dirty Gospel. I hope somebody that knows them hears me talking about them because they are phenomenal. It's a phenomenal group. You should check them out. It's super good. But anyway, we had to delay doors because the sound folks had an issue about something. So we had to delay doors by like 45 minutes to an hour. And these people were starting to get pissed. So what we did is the owner was like, hey, called over the radio. I was backstage, so I wouldn't do anything. He goes, let's get a cooler of beer and walk through the line and start selling beer. They sold $500 worth of beer in 10 minutes.
That's
um,
creative right there. Man,
yeah,
it
so
feels
we're
like
actually
you have kind of low regulation out there is what I'm hearing, just kind of piecing together. I don't know if you could pull that off. Some of the stuff you're talking about, you could pull off in like some of these like bigger liberal cities, you know?
no, definitely not. It's definitely there's some interesting things here down on the farm. Interesting folks, but we draw from all over. Like we draw from people will come down. I mean, I look at the map of where our ticket sales come from.
Yeah.
We've had people because like I said, it's a tourist area. So some people are coming down for vacation, know they're going to be here on vacation, and see that we have a big show, and they'll buy tickets. So technically, our ticket sales come from all over the United States because
Right.
we get people from California, Colorado, Washington State. There was two people there. No, I think was it Colorado from Brett Michaels or
Yeah.
Ohio. I think it might have been Ohio. But anyway, that's regardless of that, but it was Ohio or some Colorado that were here for Brett Michaels, said that they saw Brett Michaels in a stadium a couple months ago somewhere, and they said this was by far a better experience than anytime she's seen him 100 times, but that anytime they've seen him, even the big one that they just had, she said, she goes, this venue is amazing. And I was like, well, thank you. That means a lot to me. I put my heart and soul into this thing,
Yeah.
and the owners of the farm, I put their heart and soul into it. Our buddies, our operations crew, I have a second to none ops guy that's amazing. Even our electrician is insanely great.
Cool.
Dominion Dominion Power, who is our power company here. I don't know who you guys got where you are, but that's the only place you can get power. Just gave us. We were only running single phase power because they loved what we're doing. They put three-phase power back there for free to
Oh
power
my
the stage.
God. Amazing.
Um,
By the way, it looks like you're right on the bay, huh? You're right. I'm just looking at a map over
yeah,
here.
that's the sound that we're on. So we're on the sound side of the ocean there. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah,
The
it's
venue doesn't it
super.
doesn't back up to the bay though, it looks like, or does it?
No, it backs up to the woods that are on the opposite side of that.
Okay, got it. Yeah, there's this highway 180 or 168 or something like that.
Yeah. So funny thing about being on a farm, we have a bear and a beaver problem on our venue.
Is that right?
Yes. So the bears try to get into the venue and knock down the dang fence that's there. And the beavers build dams in the ditches behind there, and it ends up flooding our venue when it rains. So
Oh
we've had
man.
we had to call a local, and they don't have this in the city, a local beaver trapper to come trap all the beavers. And, matter
This
of
is the
fact, the
first on the
owner,
podcast. I haven't heard
yeah,
of venues having.
yeah.
I've heard of man inflation but not those damn beavers. Have not heard that problem yet.
No, and the funny thing is, we ended up knocking down the Beaver Dam, and not the next
Not
day we go back
not the
back
beaver
there.
dam, but a beaver dam.
Hey, Beaver
Yeah.
Dam, yes, yes,
Like
and we go
breaking
back.
news, these venue owners and knock down the beaver dam. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. So then we go back the next morning, and the beaver apparently worked all night, and the thing was back up. I'm like, man,
Oh
that's
my
thing.
God.
So, but that is a cool thing. Minus that, once if the beaver didn't build a dam there, the cool thing with our venue, it could rain for 3 days here, do 50 inches of rain, dry as a bone. It
Oh, is that
doesn't.
right?
It
Interesting.
doesn't. Yeah, people think it's wet. They're like, "We got to cancel the show." I'm like, "No, I don't. It's dry back here."
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
we
That's
had loop.
convenient. Yeah, in Austin we'll get a
Yeah,
little bit of rain and it's like you're walking, you're gonna have people like stuck in the mud. It's crazy.
yeah. I was kind of hoping Bonnery would call me and see if they wanted to move it here.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Oh man, that's right. Yeah, good God.
I, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Well, it's been a fun conversation. We went all over the place, and like you've got such a cool story. I love what you're doing, and thank you for leaning in on Prism and sharing that it's helping you. And we also love Hive and all the partners you mentioned. I'm glad Etix is helping you too, and so we really appreciate you, man. I mean, on the way out, like, why don't we just end with like, what's your vision for the next 5 years of the venue? Like, who are the artists you want to see there, and like what do you want to see the venue become? Let's wrap with that. Yeah.
So I want to see the venue become as big as something that Live Nation's doing. That don't need to be like Live Nation. I'm just saying, but like one of their amphitheaters. I want to see
Yeah.
everybody wanting to play from, jam bands to rock and roll to hard rock. I'm not allowed to
Yeah.
do metal. I'm not allowed to do metal, I was told, so I can't do that. Even though I would have it. Just a place where people were on the map. People are like, hey, we're by that venue. Let's book a show there. It's routed. Let's do it. Some of my dream artists to play there, country wise, would be a Chris Stapleton show. Jam band wise, like to get my goose out there.
Yeah.
I would love to have Dead and Company play.
Cool.
Dave Matthews Band, and it doesn't even have to be the band. I'd love to have Tim Reynolds and Dave Matthews. And Tim Reynolds actually has a house up here in the Outer Banks, so it ain't
Oh,
far from him.
nice.
So
Nice.
if he's listening, come on out and play.
Come on, Tim. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my thing. I don't know if the owner has the same vision as I do, but yeah, yeah, just a place where artists want to play, whether it's even in our big ticketed venue or just to come by. They're in the area. Maybe they're playing in Virginia Beach somewhere. It's only 45 minutes from
Yeah, I
here, to
was
stop
noticing that.
by.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, stop by and play a little pop-up show, play 3 songs. I'll pay you whatever you need and peace out.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to become. And I've had it happen once. We had the band, randomly, the band Trapped was playing in Manio, which is about an hour from us, swung by, played an acoustic show for us, and we had a huge turnout. And it was great. And the boys were great. They were super nice. And love the farm. They want to come back and bring some of their buddies with them. And I'm like, come on, let's do it. So
Well, Tony, it's been a real pleasure. I can feel your passion for live music, and it's really refreshing to hear just how much that's driving what you're doing. And I mean, it's what I know about the industry is that it's just filled with people that have passion. But I think, there's a lot of people struggling out there, and there's a lot of, there's this mixture of people that are struggling and folks that are like, doing things for money, and who's to say that's a bad thing. But I really felt like recentered in what I knew about this industry when I got started, is that it's a bunch of people that just they live music. It's just satisfies their soul, and they can't help but present that to the world, and I feel that in you, man.
yeah, who's the guy that I was? What's that book? The Music Never Stops. Shapiro is his last name. Now I can't
Yeah.
remember his
Oh, Pete
first name.
Shapiro. Yeah, yeah.
Peter. Yes, that book. I don't read. I read that whole thing cover to cover twice. Um, and the funny thing is, his story about how he came up and he was fighting with venue owners and stuff like that, and like brother and sister type thing, is exactly how me and the owner of that farm is. We bicker back and forth until something happens, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to fight. I have to fight for him. I have to fight him to be like, this is gonna work. Just trust me. And so that book, I want him to read it, so it'd be like he would laugh hysterically, go like, "This is the same conversation that we had."
I love that. I love that.
But I want to be like Pete Shapiro. That's my goal in life, and he's a great guy. I talked to him once somewhere at a show. I forget what it was, but
Cool.
I was a little peon in the industry at that point, so
Yeah, some
he
of his
wouldn't even
venues use Prism, so there's a chance he hears the podcast, and if so, shout out to Peter Shapiro.
tell him to call me, Pete.
Call Tony. All right, man. This has been a real pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.